Hello, hello. Welcome to everybody that's either new or returning. My name is Shay. Welcome to this week's Whip and Chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress. My current work in progress is a diamond painting. This is pretty much strictly a diamond painting channel. When I created the name, I just did crafting with Shay because I thought maybe it would turn into something else, but now it's been over 3 years now as of March. We're still just diamond painting. So that's what's stuck. And I'm happy with that. So if you love diamond painting, you're in the right place. So this is this week's Whip and Chat. We're going to hang out for a little bit. I'm just going to diamond paint and catch you guys up on some stuff. But before I do that, make sure and let me know how you are. I have not been that great lately, so it really means a lot when people check in and ask how you are. So if you haven't been asked that, let me do that for you. And I always do. I always ask you guys, how are you? And I mean it. So please let me know in the comments down below or privately. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, email, all those good things. So yes, let's jump right in. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, and it's 4:15 in the PM. So it's Wednesday for me / Thursday for you if you're watching this the day that it comes out. I've missed you guys. It has been a little bit since we have done this. I've missed 2 weeks in a row. So this is, it's been a while. That's normally not like me. That's one thing you can count on with me is I'm pretty reliable. And I feel bad. I just could not we'll kind of get into it a little bit. I didn't want to talk too much about, the past. I figured we have enough to talk about what's happened recently. But yeah, we'll kind of talk about, why I was gone the last couple of weeks and what's been going on. But before we do that, let me talk about what I'm using and what I'm going to be working on. So this is a diamond painting from Art and Soul. They have licensed artwork. And if you're new to my channel, I love mermaids. I'm obsessed, absolutely obsessed with mermaids. So I've been working on this one. I actually have her upside down. So we're actually like this right now. You can see the flower in her hair and that's her eyelash. So right about here, I'm on the second. I've got a row here. This is the third square and then 2 more. And then I've got 1 more row. So I'm on the second to the last row. So I'm almost finished. I'm a flipper, so I do, flip my diamond painting around, but I've really, really enjoyed this painting. I was doing this for an event that I hosted with my friend Alyssa in March called Mermaids and Magic, and I didn't get a chance to finish it, so now I'm just kind of working right along and gonna try to wrap it up soon because I'm really excited about my next one. So I try not to have too many whips going on at the same time, but that's what happens. It's hard not to when all these beautiful diamond paintings get released. Okay, and I did just pour some drills. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is one of my Munimade trays, 3D printed trays. And I'll have all these folks listed down below, okay? So, and I do have my trinket tray. This is from Angie Sparkle Addiction. She is so sweet. She does have an Etsy shop. She's in Canada. This is, she made this for me. I am a Libra, so it's one of her zodiac trays. And it's got Shay in there. And it does light up, but you won't be able to see it right now. But I told her I like rose gold. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful tray. And it also, let me show you that. This reminded me seeing the magnet on the bottom right there. It's a little trash pot. I move it because I like to have, more than one pen. So I like to keep all my things on here and I kind of keep this to the side. But yeah, so I got that. So that's from Angie. And then my pens. I've been using this pen for a while. Love it. This is from Leopard Leatherworks. And it's, of course, got the mermaid scales. And this was a pen that was done for the event. It's beautiful. So Tim and Carrie are amazing over there and they're good friends of mine. So definitely go check them out. I do just have a plastic, multi-placer in here. And I am using Butterfly Effect Wares. I'm using their Dot Dot Putty. This is the mermaid scent. So I've got that in here. And then this is one of the tips from Diamond Art Club. And I have a little box here that my friend Jenny, the Uncrafted Crafter, had given me. And I just use micro glue dots. I just have a roll here that just, the little dots. That's in my single placer. Yeah, so I just kind of keep them next to me. And the pink wax is for, of course, like for ABs and stuff like that. So that's what we've got in this pen. And then this pen, I've used this before. I've had it for a little bit. This is from Enabler's Outpost. It's one of my favorite pens. Look at the glitter. You guys, I won this at a retreat and a drawing. I got to pick something from the table and it was sitting there and I could not believe it. I was like, are you kidding me right now? I do have a metal. I got one of the metal multi-placers from Diamond Art Club. I think this is like a 6 or 7 with the same putty. And then I've just got a brass tip with the micro glue dots. And of course I've got tweezers. They come in handy I use a lot of my tweezers. So whenever I use, I almost stabbed myself, y'all. So the ceramic cutter, I use that to, cut when I'm done with the section, to cut it off, to peel it off. And then to peel it, I just kind of dig my tweezers in there to grab underneath the tape and help pull it off. So yeah, I've got all my little tools here. And what else? And then of course my Elizabeth Ward. I know I'm really zoomed in today. I was just kind of playing around with the zooming. Sometimes I'll zoom in a little bit more or less. Some people like it one way or the other, so I try to switch it up. And I think that's it. Oh, of course, some water. Got some sparkling, it's from Costco, some fancy Italian sparkling water. It's only $4.20, so it was kind of between coffee and wine time. So we're going with water. All right. So I've already got my color out. I've diamond painted a little bit today. Now, for those of you that know me, I normally am at work, but I took today off. I took a sick day, put that in quotes. We'll talk about that, and there's a reason why I took a sick day. So I took a sick day today, and I did diamond paint a little bit earlier, but I did have a to-do list, so I was trying to be productive. I still got 2 or 3 things left on the to-do list, but I did about 4 or 5, so I was like, that's pretty good. I'm really, really trying, y'all, to get my shit together because I've just been a little bit of a mess lately. So I thought the to-do list would kind of help me and make me feel, productive and make me feel like I'm accomplishing something. So, all right. So again, how are you guys? Before we get going again, let me know how you are. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I've been in some lives lately, so I do get to catch up with some of you and, kind of see how you're doing. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what's going on with you. I don't want this to always be about, me. I definitely want to know how you guys are. And I went live last Sunday, and that was a lot of fun. We got to catch up and just kind of see how everybody was doing. But let's see. So again, 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we did a whip and chat. So the reason why I missed the first week, we'll kind of rewind and go back to that. So that was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess now. My mom and dad live in Amarillo. So I'm in Texas. For those of you that are new, I am in Texas. I'm in Dallas. So my mom and dad live in Amarillo, which is about 6 hours from here. And they were in town for some doctor's appointments. And, Big D, we've got, Dallas has got all the big doctors, right? And all the good doctors, I guess. So they still come into town for that. So they were here Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And I normally film these on Wednesday for them to go out, on Thursdays. And with them being in town, I just, I wanted to spend time with them. And I was like, it's okay if I, don't do it this week. So that was that week. And then, of course, we had the eclipse happen, which was great. Took the day off that day and, spent the day, took the kids to the park and experienced that. And that was awesome. It was really fun. Being in Dallas, we had a total, we had 100% totality. It was like you could see everything. So it was amazing. Really, really cool experience. We went to a park and everybody was like screaming and cheering and it was really exciting. So it was fun. Now that same day was my oldest's birthday. So I now have a 19-year-old. So my oldest Ryan is 19, which is crazy. And my husband, unfortunately, was in China. He's still there. So he's been gone for 3 weeks. And it's just been, so we celebrated his birthday, just, us. When my parents were in town, we took him out to dinner. We celebrated his birthday, got him some shoes and some clothes. And he didn't ask for much. So it was kind of a low-key birthday. And then I made dinner that night. You'll have to excuse me. The cough is almost gone. I was sick for most of March. I had a upper respiratory, walking pneumonia, acute bronchitis, a multitude of fun things. But that cough, y'all, just wants to hang on for dear life. But it's almost gone. It's every day is getting less and less, so that's good. So if you hear me cough, I am sorry. I may try to edit them out if there's... A lot of times when I'm talking is when they come out. Or if I'm talking too fast, which I need to slow down. I just get so excited when we hang out and when I do these. So I missed that one, that whip and chat. And then, normal work at, I guess, let me see. So that was that. And then I had a doctor's appointment that week to get blood work. I think it was that week. Yeah. I do not like giving blood, but that actually went okay. the girl, it was a new doctor that I was going to, a new primary care. It's the same one my husband goes to, and I'm like, and he likes them, and I was like, I'll try them. So the reason why I went and made a doctor's appointment for my blood work is because when my mom was here, we were talking about it too. I have an autoimmune disease. It's Hashimoto's. It's hypothyroidism. So my thyroid's a little off, and I haven't had blood work done in a while. And I take levothyroxine, but that's it. And I didn't know if maybe, I've been taking the same dosage for a while, and I am really, really struggling, and have been for quite some time now, with fatigue. The fatigue is just crazy. I mean, I'm always tired. I have to lay down all the time. I just don't have any energy. And I was kind of worried that maybe it was like depression, like maybe those kind of symptoms, which I know a lot of y'all know that have been here for a bit. But for those of you that are new, I did get, I was on a ton of medication, seeing a psychiatrist for, 6-7 years, I guess. And we kind of started weaning me off in the last year, but I decided to take it upon myself to finish weaning off of them. And I just stopped going to see my doctor, which is not recommended. Definitely would not recommend. But it's what I did. So I've been off of any type of any type of that medication, like for depression, anxiety, ADHD, sleeping. I mean, you name it, they had me on it for about 3 months now, I guess, total, maybe a little bit longer. So, with the fatigue, I thought, I don't know if it's the thyroid acting up, if something else is all with my blood work, I just wanted to be checked out and kind of start with, the physical side of things and see if they find anything abnormal there. And then maybe fix that if it fixes things, take care of that. And then I can go back to my psychiatrist if I need to, right? I'm not opposed to it. And I always said when I got off of it, I just wanted to, and the reason why I got off, to be honest, I was tired of going to the pharmacy to pick up refills. I was tired of taking all this medication, all the doctor's appointments. I just was like, plus I just wanted to see what I felt like without it. I mean, did I actually need all these things still? It had been so many years and so many things had been added over time. I was like, I don't even know what I feel like without this medication. Maybe I don't need it anymore. So that's why I did it, for all those reasons. And I always said, if I need to get back on it, I would. I definitely was not opposed to that. So that's kind of what we're working towards right now, trying to figure it out. So I had the blood work done. No problems. The girl was great. I always tell them up front when they do my blood work that, not a big fan. I won't be looking. I don't like it. And they always chuckle and laugh. And I'm always like, how do you do this job? I can't imagine, y'all. But she was great. One of the things I can't stand, though, about those appointments, about giving blood, is I get really queasy. It's interesting. The thing that gets me the worst is before they actually draw the blood. It's not the actual blood draw that affects me. It's all the, I guess, getting nervous and anxiety leading up to it. And like poking and prodding and like before they do it is what gets me all sick feeling. And I've passed out before. So this time, she couldn't find a vein, and I was like, and that's always a problem. And that's when I start poking around on both arms, and she had to do that too. And I thought, here we go. And I'm starting to get kind of a little, anxious and starting to feel some sort of way. And I'm like, here we go. I'm starting to ramp up. And, but then she tells me to hold, the little thing they want you to squeeze. And so the whole thought of that I know why I'm doing it and I know what they need. And just like the whole thought of it just gets me so, I can't do it. So I started to feel like I was sweating and I was getting hot. And I was like, oh no. But then at that point she goes, okay, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So she did have to look at both arms, and she did finally find one. And then she talked to me for a couple minutes, and I guess I was kind of distracted by talking to her. And next thing you know, she's taking the strap off my arm and she's like, okay, we're done. I'm like, that was it? And I felt fine. So yeah, she was really good. And I really appreciate them. And when they really take care of you. So that was a good experience. So nothing bad happened there. They told me that it would take, it normally takes about 24 hours to get those results back, that they're really quick. But the doctor and I couldn't meet for another week, and that was today. So I was like, all right. So I, of course, went into the portal the very next day, and I was looking at all the results. And, I'm not a doctor, but I was trying to I was Googling a bunch of things, trying to figure it all out. Everything to me looked pretty normal, but again, I didn't know, and I was just going to have to wait for our televisit today. So I waited for that. Good news is, so I'll go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll talk about some other things about the job, my job and stuff, which I know y'all are probably curious about. I told you I'd tell you today. But we'll talk about the health stuff first. So, yeah, so I had the televisit this morning, and the good news is she did not see anything that was out of whack. Nothing she was concerned about. So I was like, that's great news. Now I still want to figure out why I'm so tired, and she's like, your thyroid looks good. I'm going to send in the same thing you've been taking and just keep taking that. We don't want to mess with it. Where she did have a recommendation for, moving forward is doing hormone pellets. She had given me a book that day in the office when I was describing my symptoms and fatigue and everything else. And she said, this might be the way that we go depending on what the blood work says. And so she gave it to me, and I didn't really look at it, but I looked at it this morning when I was waiting for her to join the call. And, I have friends that do it. From what I understand, and if y'all are familiar with this, then let me know what your opinion is about it. Be nice. Hopefully you've had good things, that have happened from it. But apparently they're going to be, from what I understand, I am going to be getting testosterone. I know it sounds kind of crazy. And I was like, excuse me? She's like, it's not that you're deficient in it, but someone found out that, by giving women, by getting testosterone, it can help with fatigue, libido, like all these things. And I was like, okay. She's like, do you want to give it a try? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I guess from what I understand and from talking to friends, they have to make an incision, and they actually put pellets in not your butt, but I guess you're above your butt, your hip area, I believe is where it's at. Unfortunately, insurance does not cover it. So I was like, but you have to get them done. Only about, she said, depending on the person, but she said, when you get them done, they're normally good for 3 to 4 months. I was like, oh, and if that's going to make me feel better, and it wasn't a crazy amount of money, but it was, it was a little bit. And I was like, okay, I think I can swing that, But yeah, whatever, if it's going to help. She's like, it really, and I have friends that have done it. They swear by them. So I was like, okay. So I'm very excited about that. I have my appointment made for Friday. So this Friday, I'm going to be getting pellets put in, hormone pellets. So I'm very excited. She says they can make a real difference, especially with energy. I was like, okay. So I'll keep y'all posted. Yeah, my next whipping chat, I'll have to let you know how that goes. And please tell me down below if you don't mind. We're really open here. I'm open with y'all about everything. So yeah, let me know. Have you ever had those? Know anybody that has them? Any good, bad experiences? Don't scare me though. But my husband did say, because he's had them before, and he's like, just tell the doctor, because he knows I am with blood. He goes, just tell her, he goes, I'm sure. He said, yeah, it's all going to be done behind me. I think I'll be fine. He goes, well, there's a lot of blood. And I'm like, oh. He goes, yeah, just tell her to put all that away before you turn back around. I'm like, okay. So yeah. So that's kind of the first thing we're going to do to try to see if that makes me feel better. And, we'll give that a little bit of time that seems to, do it. I just don't know if some of the things I'm feeling are also depression. You know what I mean? Like, don't have interest in doing anything that you used to do, or, just wanting to lay around and isolate and kind of hide out and just do nothing. And I don't know. So I'm kind of exploring, what it could be and what could help. And, I'll do what I got to do. So yeah, so that's where we're at with that. But I think the changes that I'm going to be making in the future that we'll talk about here now might have a positive impact on the way that I feel. So now if y'all been following me for a bit, I talked about it a lot towards the beginning when I first started this job. So we'll back it up a minute. I was a stay-at-home mom for 11 years. I got a job 4.5 months ago. Okay. Right. Getting back into the swing of things. And it was great at first, but then that wore off. That wore off real quick. I had some funny stories at first. I remember I used to talk about my job, and then y'all probably didn't hear me talk about it at all because I was absolutely miserable. My Patreons and my members, my YouTube members know, because I would, poor things, I would just complain about it every week in my weekly vlogs about the things that were happening at work, and it was not good. But I didn't want to be a quitter, right? I was gonna, and I've been trying to look for another job. All the time, always on Indeed, LinkedIn, all the things, looking for jobs and applying for everything, and nothing has come. So I was like, I can do this, until I couldn't do it anymore. So if you don't know what my job was, it was it's a marketing. It's funny because when I interviewed for the job, I have marketing experience. I have executive assistant experience. So, hey, if you're hiring or know of anyone that's hiring in the Dallas area, let me know. I'm looking for a job. So I have like administrative assistant, I've been different levels of admin for different, higher ups of all types. I have marketing experience. In like telecom, but I thought, it's been 11 years. Let me just kind of, start slow and kind of build my way up. So I was applying for a job at a podiatrist's office, a foot doctor, for a front desk receptionist. I was like, I'll try that, When I went to go interview for the job, and by the way, this is the only job that I ever got contacted back from for an interview. So I probably maybe jumped too soon, but I was just so eager, and I was, thought it was going to be the one. But so when I was interviewing, the woman says to me, the doctor's wife, she's like, you know what? We actually, looking at your resume and hearing about your experience, we actually have a marketing specialist position open. And I was like, what? And so of course it was more money, and she just made it sound so great. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is meant to be. This is crazy. This isn't even what I came in here for, but I'm going to walk out with like the perfect job. I got sick a lot because it was going into try to get referrals for the doctor, right? So like going to urgent cares, primary care, pediatricians, you name it. Wherever we thought we could get, someone that has anything below the knee down was our big motto. We could do for you. So they had me all around. It was a lot of driving. Our expectations, they expected us to visit 20 offices a day. And I did. And I did. It was full time. And, but what happens is after a couple months, you're repeating and going to the same doctor's offices over and over and over again. Now we do have 8 locations and there's 4 of us. So we all had different territories. But even with that being said, I was on like my 4th time of going to the same offices, because every 5 to 6 weeks, you're rotating, you're going back again to the same ones you had already been to. And it just wasn't that. It was the environment, it wasn't a great fit for me. I wasn't using my brain, my mind. It was very mindless. And at first I thought, this is great. I'll be able to, no stress. And that's what I thought. I got kids, I'm just getting back into the workforce. Low stress would be great. And so I was all for it. The freedom, you get to drive around all day. You're not tied to a chair, to a desk, an office. It all was great. But y'all, it wore on me. It wears on you. There's a high turnover in this job, not just at the job, but this whole doctor's office. It's just not a great environment. There's a lot of other things that happen that I won't get into, but I tried. And then I was going to go part-time. And then I would just dread going to work. I would just dread, all the dread, y'all. There was just no, it was very unfulfilling. Unfulfilling is it, if that's the right word. I got nothing out of it. Absolutely nothing. I just would look at the clock and just watch the minutes tick by. So I just was like, it was like Groundhog Day. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Going in and just handing out information over and over and over again, and just the driving. So the rainy days, all the things, cold days, I just was like, so my husband was very supportive, and he just said, you know what, put your 2 weeks in. And I was like, what? And I think I just needed, I needed someone to say it was okay to do that, because I wasn't going to do it on my own. And when he gave me that permission to, like, not that I needed his permission, but when he kind of told me it's okay, it's not worth your mental health, your, physical, everything. This is not, because he saw how much, it was bringing me down. And so now I am trying to find a new job. So we'll back up. So I, decided to do that. So on Sunday when I had my live, so if you're new, I do go live most Sundays. We do a fun little live stream. It's like a family get together, like a Sunday dinner without the dinner. But of course you can eat and drink while you're on the live, but we get together on Sundays in the afternoon. It's 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we go for about an hour and a half, sometimes a little bit longer. But during that live, I just made the decision, a couple days before that to give my 2 weeks. And on Sunday, I was going to be doing it the next day. And I was very, very nervous. I was very nervous. The doctor's wife, is very intimidating. And I was scared to tell her. And I didn't know how she was going to react. And so I was really, really nervous. And y'all were so kind. Y'all gave some awesome words of encouragement. Everybody checked in on me on Monday, early on saying, I got you, you got this, call me if you need anything. And then of course, after in the afternoon, people were like, how'd it go? So everyone's just, guys, like I always say, there's so much to get out of this community. If you just want to diamond paint and hear about diamond painting stuff, it's great too, right? There's a place for that and there's channels for that. But if you want to make friends and get so much more out of it than just the diamond painting part, you can have both. And that's what I have. And I want you guys to have that too. And I hope you have that same feeling if you're looking for that. But y'all are my family and my friends. And it was just, I knew I had it. I was like, okay, I can do this. So I went in on this past Monday. Before I did though, I was looking at my time, and because I'd been there, you have to wait 90 days to get any paid time off. And I did realize that I had accrued 2 sick days. So I was like, okay, I'll use those maybe the next 2 weeks. So that's what I used today, by the way. I was like, I had that doctor's appointment this morning. I was like, I'll take this one and I'll take maybe one more next week. So let me tell you how it went. All right. So I go in and I'm very, very nervous. I go into the office because you have to go into the office to get the company car keys for the day. And she's always in there and she's always kind of looking at you with this look. And I'm like, oh my gosh, very, very intimidating. So I walk in and she's not there. And there's another lady there and I'm like, is so-and-so here? And she's like, no, she's not here yet. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it drug it out, right? I was like, oh my God. And I was all ready to do it. So I went upstairs to the break room, got my computer out, planned out my day, kind of got my routing, what I was going to do for the day. And I was like, okay, I got to head out. I'm going to stop back by there and see if she's there. I just realized, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing. If you're even watching, I scooted down a little bit. So I go in there and she's there. And what's really awkward, and I should have known, there were some red flags from the interview. I should have known better, but I know I told y'all, if y'all been here for a while, you heard me talk about the story about the interview. I think I talked about it on here. When I went in for the interview, they took me into the office and the doctor's wife interviewed me, but right next to her, they share a desk. They just have their monitors facing each other as the accounting person. And then there's an office manager and another desk right next to that. So there's no privacy. And that's how I got interviewed. It was so awkward. And those ladies weren't even part of the interview. They just were sitting there listening. I was like, oh my gosh. So I should have known better. And the whole vibe that I got just from in the waiting room. Anyways, so I go in there and of course there's people in there with her and I'm like, all right, do you have a minute? I said, I wanted to talk to you. She's like, yeah. And she's kind of looked at me and, oh gosh, y'all, what it felt like, and I described this in my Patreons, it felt like I was like a kid again. I don't know if y'all ever had this happen. It was for me because I was always kind of nervous and not that it was confrontation, but just that nervous, I've got to ask if, if I wanted to go somewhere, do something when I was a kid, right? I was afraid I was going to get told no. I had to be prepared to talk a good talk and try to convince, right? Or just I was so nervous. I just felt like a kid again. I felt like a kid. So I walk in there, I told her that and she's like, yeah. I'm like, and I didn't have to tell her anything. And that's what everybody kept telling me. You don't owe them anything. Just your 2 weeks. And of course, my husband had sent me an article and I read that and it was really good. It kind of tells you how to give a verbal and written 2-week notice. So I'm glad I read that article before I went in there. That was helpful, but I didn't just want to spit it out and shock her with that right off the bat. So I said, I've got some personal things going on right now and I'm going to have to put my 2-week notice in. And she looks at me and says, send me an email. That was it. Send me an email. And from her facial expressions, I couldn't really read it because it's hard to read her. Either one, she didn't care. Either one, she didn't care. Two, she cared and I pissed her off maybe. She wasn't happy about it. Or maybe three, she wasn't surprised. Because people don't last in general, people don't last there. People are coming and going all the time. I can tell you right now, I was there for 4.5 months. And the two girls in the front office with the doctor's wife, the two ladies that were in there now, that have been in there the last few months, were not there when I started. There was two different ladies. There was a different accounting person and there was a different office manager. So if that tells you something right there, it's not good. And so I already kind of was watching all that happen. And they would never tell you when anybody, that you just go in and like, they'd be like, they wouldn't be there anymore. There'd be like somebody new. It was the weirdest thing. It didn't surprise you. So I was like, all right. So I walked out, and then I said one last thing too. I said, should I copy? Now the doctor's sister is also involved. She's like over marketing. She was always in our marketing meetings and kind of our go-to person. And then there's another chick. I don't really know what she did, but she was always like copied on emails for any thing marketing. I said, should I go ahead and copy the other two ladies on there? And she goes, that's fine. And she just started typing away and just like ignoring me. I was like, wow. I mean, in one regard, it was like good because there was no drama, right? It was like cut and dry, pretty straightforward. But I was like, wow, that was awkward. I walked out of there and I was like, what the heck just happened? What just happened? So now I'm thinking, oh gosh, now I got to send an email, right? An official email. Again, so glad my husband sent me that article because I hopped in the car, went to my first doctor's office, went in there, did that. And then I hopped on my computer and got going on the letter. And I kind of just followed the format of here's how to write a basic letter. And I just said, this is my official resignation for this position from this company. And my last day will be Friday, April 26th. So that's 2 weeks. And I did thank them for the opportunity. I did say, after 11 years of being out of the workforce, I really do appreciate that y'all gave me a chance and believed in me. Because it's really, truly how I felt. Like I said, no one else, not one other person that I had applied for ever got, I got no's, but I never got an interview and never got anybody interested in me. So it did feel good, to be wanted again. And yeah, so, and then I just said, thank you for the opportunity to grow and learn with you. And that was it. So about an hour later, the doctor's wife, who was like the head honcho, right? She emails me back and says, best wishes, something. Like it was like a one-liner, real short. I was like, okay. And then the doctor's sister was really cool. She said something like, thank you for everything you've done for us. I'm sure with your work ethic and the way that with the things you've done for us, you'll be great at your future endeavors, something like that. So it was really nice. So that was it. It was official. What I thought was funny is after that, I went into the app because we use an app to clock in and clock out and to look at any vacation time and just all the things. And in there, I had put in a request to have time off for the retreat that I'm going to be hosting that's coming up at the end of May. I put that request in months ago, right? It never got approved. It was just like pending. Well, I was going in there to see if I had any vacation time or sick time, anything I needed to take and I would get paid for. And I looked in there and the doctor's wife, 30 minutes before that, had gone in there. So I guess she also was looking to see what was going on with me. And she denied my my time off request, saying denied, and it said put 2-week notice in. I was like, okay, thanks for finally looking at that for me. I do appreciate it. Just a toxic environment, y'all. Basically, felt like I was on an island, so weird. I'd walk through that office every morning, with the keys and go through the doctor's office to head towards the cars in the back of the building. And you've got the doctors, the medical assistants, all the people, and not one person ever says hi to you. No one smiles. It's just the weirdest thing. Really weird. So I can't operate like that. I think I'm too much of a people person. So I'm now on the hunt. haven't officially I've been looking again all this time. I've been looking, hoping something else would come up while I was still there. But I really got to hit it hard now, That was a job for me. I need to find the job, because I kind of rushed into that one. But it was, good. It kind of let me see that it is possible to go back to work, and my kids were okay with it. Everybody was, no one was dying. Everybody was still functioning and things were still moving along. So it can be done. And so it was good. I just need to find the right job now. So, yep. So I need to update my resume, which I haven't done that yet with this job. And today I decided to take one of those sick days. And hopefully I get paid for that. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It was nerve-wracking, but I was proud of myself. I feel like I did the right thing. I always did by them. I never did anything that, and that's what I didn't want it to get to. I was starting to feel like it was getting to that point where, when you just are that miserable, you just need to get out before you start slacking off or, not doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever, and that's not me. So I just was like, I tried to help, hold my head up high, and I did right by them. And I think I got them some, you never know. There was no bonus. They always talked about doing some type of incentive program or bonus program referrals for the marketing folks, so we could actually see, and get some kind of bonus based on referrals we were getting for people. But they never set that up. And so I never really knew. And that was another thing. Here you are doing this all day and you don't even know if you're making an impact or not. There's no way to measure it. It's just a really weird, setup. But so I got that out of my system. I remember, it's so funny. If y'all remember when I was looking for a job, I wanted to work. I wanted to work in the health field. I didn't have any healthcare experience. I'd never worked. It was always telecom. I worked at Nokia, I worked at Samsung. It was always the big companies, I was like, I think it'd be fun to wear scrubs. Well, I'm good now. I got to wear scrubs. Got to do the scrubs every day, and got to work for a doctor's office. So I learned a lot. I did. I took a lot from it. It wasn't for nothing. So we'll see what the next adventure brings. So again, if y'all are in the Dallas area and you know of anything, I actually have talked to a couple of people that I know in the community. I'm like, so I know you live in Dallas, and they work for big companies. I'm like, do you know if you're hiring? And they've helped me out. They're like, oh, go look at the website. And I've looked and there's nothing, but I'm going to keep looking. It's just kind of scary when you don't know your next move, and it's going to be hard not to have the money, but money is not everything. And that's what it was starting to come down to. I was just so miserable. I was like, I don't even care, if, I'll make do, I'll not have something to have my sanity back. So, yeah, so that is the story, y'all. That's kind of I think that's it. Yep. How long have I been jabbering? 38 minutes I jabbered on about that and the blood work. So, yeah, my husband just said, so again, going back to my mental health and the way I've been feeling, the good news is, so I had a hysterectomy, and we talked about this during the live. I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago. September will be 2 years or 3 years. Anyways, it hasn't been that long. It wasn't a full hysterectomy. So, we didn't do a full because they didn't want to put me into menopause. Cause I'll be 50 this year. But she did say, from looking at all the numbers, I was wondering if that could be pre-menopause stuff or, something like that. And she's like, no, you're definitely not going into menopause yet. She goes, cause I told her I'd never had a hot flash, and we laughed about that. And everybody was scaring me on the live on Sunday. Y'all were like, oh my gosh, I definitely don't want a hot flash. It sounds absolutely the worst thing ever. Worse than childbirth, I think, is what y'all made it sound like. So I'm glad I haven't experienced that. But she did say, looking at my blood work, it doesn't look like that's happening yet. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. Well, again, we'll just kind of start with these, today's Wednesday. So Friday I go in for the pellets. She said it can take, you'll start feeling pretty good, depending on the person, but it can be a couple of days, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see if that helps, because I've been feeling real shit lately, but my husband's like, maybe if you get, that figured out and you don't have that miserable job, then maybe you'll start to feel better. And I've been starting to focus on my health, my like physical, like, exercising, because I have really let myself go. I mean, it's so easy to, and driving around all day, I would stop at fast food every day for lunch and sit in the car and eat McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. And so had some really, really bad habits. And so I knew that wasn't good. Having that job really was not good for me in that aspect either. Just, I'd stop in the afternoon. Like I stopped at 7-Eleven yesterday and got a big gulp of like Mountain Dew. So Lee, if you're listening, it was good though. But I did get that. So I'm just like, I got to stop doing some of these things. They're just not, healthy. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for a color. Oh, here it is. So yeah, I've been walking. I've been trying to close my, because I have an Apple Watch. Look at that. I almost closed all my rings. Oh, wait, something's happening. April challenge. Congrats, Shay. You reached your move goal 5 times to win this award. Well, the move goal is not that, only 5 times in April. That's not that great. Anyways, I've been trying to, it's doing something else. Move goal achieved. Yeah, so, okay, so I'm supposed to be moving today. So 450 calories. I've moved 453. So I just met that goal. And then I did walk the dogs this morning. So I'm trying to like walk the dogs. So we have 3 dogs. So if I walk every dog, I walk them separately and I take them around the block a couple of times each. And like today, I think it was like 2 miles and I was able to close like my 30 minutes of exercise. So I'm just baby steps, y'all. I figured if I start, exercising and not have this job and maybe these pellets, maybe things will start to feel better. Because I have just not. And if y'all struggle too, let me know. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. And you don't know. But at the same time, I've told myself, can I make a difference in how I feel? Can I choose is what I'm trying to get at. Can you choose how you feel? Can you force yourself to feel better? Not force it, but can you like make that choice? So also I'm trying to make the choices that maybe I think I need to be making to not just like give up, So if that makes sense. So I'm trying different ways. I haven't done like talk therapy yet. I've done in the past. I've had therapists before. It's not new to me, but it's been a while since I've done that. I don't have anybody now. Like I said, it's been a long time. I don't know. I know a lot of people believe in it. A lot of people are all for it. Not that I'm against it, but it makes me feel a little uncomfortable. But maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe being uncomfortable is good. So that's probably maybe another avenue that I could, explore again if I think that's going to help. So open to that too. I'm really open, y'all, to whatever it is, because I did not feel like this before. I feel like, but again, it's been a long time though. So I'm like, was it hysterectomy? Was it always like this? Who knows? I don't even know if you can make sense of it sometimes. I feel like I'm trying to figure it out and it's like, is there even an answer? But, I'm not going to give up, for my husband and my kids and, for y'all and, for everything, for myself. I'm just like, I can do this. I want to be me, a better me. Like me again is what it feels like. Me is like, where did I go? Where did I go? I like feel lost sometimes. So, but I have to say with y'all behind me though, I feel like I can do this, and you'll always check on me and love on me. And I can't thank you enough for all the constant, just all the constant outpouring of love and support that I get from each and every one of you, just by, listening to these and, at me having somebody to talk to and get all this stuff off my chest and all the love and support y'all get back in your comments. And it's a wonderful place. So if you are new here, get involved and, keep coming back because some good people here that really care about each other and you'll be happy you did. Yep. You definitely will be. Yeah. All right. What else, y'all? So let's talk about, other things. I didn't take any notes. So I'm like, a lot's kind of happened, but at the same time, it really hasn't. I've kind of been on this kick lately of like watching movies. Maybe it's a low energy thing. I just want to like lay around. And I'm not really much of a movie person, but I watched a movie over the last couple of days and I'm very disappointed in it. And I just had to say, and I know y'all are gonna be like, ugh, but I kept putting it off. And I wanna know if you've put it off too. And if you've watched it, so I finally watched the Barbie movie. Yep, I finally watched that movie. Everybody kept talking about it. Maybe that was why I was disappointed, because I feel like everybody had like built it up to be this like, I get it, I know the message, there was a message in there, but people were saying it made them cry. I didn't cry. Like, I thought it was awful. Like, what is wrong with me? And again, maybe because I had these expectations because I waited so long and I've heard so much about it. I thought it was just going to be phenomenal. Maybe that was my problem. I was going into it going, no, it was really, really dumb. Again, the message was good, but just so hokey and like just so many times during the movie, I'm like, what is happening here? You know, like those kind of those thoughts. I'm like, this is weird. And I guess it kind of has to be because it is a movie about Barbie. It's a doll that, like, you know, it was just weird. So I did finally do it. It took me a couple days. I just wanted to see what all the hype was about and just kind of, you know, see what the deal was. But that was disappointing. But I've been watching some stuff lately. I watched a movie called The Little Things. And I don't know if we talked about this because I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. I think it's on my Patreon. The Little Things. And I think it was on maybe Netflix. You know, I just realized I haven't used my other pen. It's with Denzel Washington and Robbie Malek. And I forget the other guy, the bad guy. That was an interesting movie. I would recommend that. It was like a thriller. Pretty good. Denzel Washington still got it too, y'all. That guy is amazing. Amazing actor. I really, really like him. But he's aged, but he still looks so good. And he does a great job in it. So I watched that. And then I watched another one, but I think I may have already told y'all about it. On the Line. There's another Netflix. That was Mel Gibson. So there's a couple movies I watched lately. I feel like I've watched something else, but I can't remember. Oh, and I've been watching, I just finished it today. Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know, with Larry David. I watched the final, like the last few episodes of the final season. Dude, I love that show. It's so funny. He gets himself into so much trouble, and it's such like relatable things that we all see and do in our daily lives, and he just makes this big deal out of it, and things always happen and it'll always go wrong. So if y'all like that show, you have to let me know. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it's over. I think that was it. But I kind of like how they ended it. So I won't give any spoilers away, but if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah, I finished up that so I don't really have any other, not that I can think of, any other shows I'm watching right now. I feel like there's something else I've been watching. Oh, I know what it was. I was going to say, I know there was something else. It just came to me. Okay, I'm glad I remembered. That was going to drive me crazy. Palm Royale. Wait, Palm Royale? Yeah, I think that's it. I finished watching that. That's really good. Would definitely recommend that. Didn't think I was going to get into it, but I just kept watching it. And the more I kept watching it, the more I was getting sucked in. It's with Kristen Wiig. And it's good. Apple TV, I believe, I think is where I saw it, but I could be wrong. I think that's where it's at. But it's called Palm Royale, and it's good. It's got Ricky Martin in it, and a lot of folks you'd recognize. But I liked that show. Kind of took me a little while to wrap that one up. So Palm Royale, that was good. It was like a soap opera, is like how I can describe it, with all the characters and all the different stuff happening and all the stuff she gets, you know, the trouble that she gets into. These characters are just so good. So stuff that's been going on here with the kids and stuff. So my middle one, Nate, my son Nate, who's 17, he'll be 18 in August. He's a junior this year, and he just took his SAT, and we're looking into colleges and kind of, you know, focusing on all that stuff coming up. And we want to get his SAT scores up a little bit. So he's, the other day I stopped by a tutoring place, and he's going to be doing some online tutoring with a local tutoring place that we have. And tonight we actually have an orientation for 2 hours from 6 to 8 tonight. It's a Zoom call. It's online, and they're just going to tell us the whole scoop because it's quite an in-depth program, and it was not cheap. But, you know, it's important to get the SAT scores up. And not only that, but they also offer See, my husband and I didn't go to college. So we're like clueless about like, how does all this happen? How does it work? And to me, it's very intimidating. The deadlines, the this, the that, the essays, all the forms, application, all the things. And he wants to go to school for, and I've mentioned this to y'all before, for film, cinematography specifically. And then secondary would be like criminal justice. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and I want to do whatever I can to, help him out. But this tutoring place, they're great. They do the tutoring online or in person. And then they also do, they offer college admission help, kind of guide you through that process. So I'm loving that, but that's for an additional fee. I'm like, of course it is, right? But he's worth it. So, and again, I just quit my job and I'm like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh. But we'll make it work. We'll figure it out somehow, right? Maybe I'll just make more YouTube videos. I don't know. Y'all just keep watching. Please keep watching. Watch the whole thing. Hit the thumbs up, please. But yeah, so that's going to be tonight. I can't imagine it's going to take 2 hours, but it will. But he will, it's pretty in-depth. Let's see, he just took the SAT and he's going to take the ACT. But he took the SAT in March. And the next one they offer is in May, but that's too soon. For him, he needs time to practice and have the tutoring. So he's going to take it in June. So from now till June, so for like the next month, he's going to be doing this class online. It's for 2 hours twice a week, and it's instructor led. So it is online, but it's not like on demand. You have to be there at a certain time, and there's an instructor on there, so they know you're there. So there's some accountability, but it's on Sundays for 2 hours. And when I first saw the Sunday times, I was like, oh no, because we share a wall. And when I do my lives, it's the last thing I want to do is like, interrupt him when he, be too loud and laughing with y'all. And here he's on the other side of the wall trying to do, tutoring with a tutor. But it's Sundays from 1:30 to 3:30, and my lives start at 4. And I was like, okay, that works. And then he does Thursday nights from 6 to 8. So it's twice a week, 2 hours each. There's workshops, there's homework, there's like, yeah. And what we paid for, we've got this tutoring till May of next year, and that's when he graduates. So you can take the SAT and the ACT as many times as you want until you get the score that you're happy with. So, I really hope he gets the score that he wants by June, but if not, we've got this place, and, he'll just keep on going, keep on trucking along, and until he's ready to get, until he gets the score he wants. So yeah, but I'm proud of him. He's got several schools that he's, a lot of Texas schools, obviously, because that's cheaper, in-state tuition. He's looking at University of Texas, which is UT, Texas A&M, which is where my dad went. My dad's an Aggie, so that'd be really cool. They're all great schools. And then some other smaller schools in Texas, one in Oklahoma, OSU. He's looking at Houston, Texas Tech. So it's really, really good schools. We just, he's not a great test taker. And at the same time, I stopped and talked to this woman the other day for like 2 hours. I took my lunch, and she was great. She walked me through the whole process. And what they basically do is they teach these kids the way that, they teach them to take the test, right? And they're like, we're going to teach them a little bit differently than what school's been teaching them, because that's not really how the test goes. And algebra, that's where he needs help. And that's like a big part of the test is Algebra 1. So, and he said he kind of struggled with algebra. So I think that'll be good for him to get that practice. And yeah. She said some of the questions they teach the kids, they said within like the third or fourth word of the question, she said the kids will be able to already tell what the correct answer is because the way they teach them. I'm like, wow. So, I talked to Nate about it before we signed him up, and I told him, he understands the commitment and the money. And I said, are you sure? Because this is not cheap. And he goes, no. And I said, I know I can, so I feel like he's willing to put the work in, he's a good kid. Ryan's doing good. That's my oldest, Ryan. He's 19 as of last week, which is crazy. He's good. He's working and still working at his same restaurant job. And yeah, he's just doing his thing, working, sleeping during the day and working at night. He's like a vampire. He's a vampire. Yep, pretty much. So when my husband gets back from China this weekend, they'll probably be up together at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We were laughing. I was like, yeah, Ryan's like on, he'll be jet lagged. You'll be jet lagged and you'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning and he'll be up too, and y'all can hang out. Yep, we give him a hard time because he like Uber Eats stuff at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, how is McDonald's open at 3 a.m.? I don't understand, but I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. So as long as he doesn't bother me. Yep. So yeah. But he's doing good. And then Lou, my 11-year-old, my little sweetness, she has been taking, she's been taking a lot of tests this week. In Texas, we have, and I think other states have it too, but it's called the STAR test. It's like a state aptitude readiness I forget what it stands for. Not a big fan of them, but she had, let's see, Monday she had the reading, today she had science, and she's got more next week. They cram it at the very end. So yeah, and they're long days, so she's a little worn out at the end of those days. So I picked her up from school today. She asked me to bring up Ollie to the playground, which I did. So all the kids were oohing and awing over him. Ollie's our little Frenchie, our French bulldog, Ollie. You probably have seen him around. I think I showed him on the live. He's a sweet little boy. All my dogs are. We've got 2 Boston Terriers and Ollie. But Ollie sometimes steals a show. He does. I don't want to have favorites, but I'm like, ugh. Ollie's just so cute. He's something else, y'all. So yeah, dogs are doing good. Like I said, hubby comes back Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. It's 3 weeks has been a long time. Super, super long time. I'm not sure if I'll go live on Sunday. I probably will. Unless something goes, unless something comes up. But as of right now, I plan on it. So join me. I'll, send something I'll put something on the community tab that will come up on YouTube if I don't go live. And then you'll see the thumbnail that I've created if I do. So, but yeah, I plan on it. Like I said, unless something else comes up and family time, something gets planned, but I think it'll be just a regular weekend. Yep. But I got 1 more week of this job, y'all. 1 more week. Well, I say that it's funny because I'm getting those pellets on Friday and my appointment's like at 1. And I was like, well, I guess I could just work a half a day. Because who wants to go back to work and sit in a car for hours after you've had, something put in your hip or your butt? I'm like, yeah. So I may have to, I'm just buying my time, y'all. I'm just like, I got short timers, big time short timers disease. Yeah. And I just feel like the days are going by so slow. Like Monday and Tuesday, I was like, oh, so slow. But I can do it, right? I can do it. I can do it just a little bit longer. All right. I think that's all, you guys. How are we doing on time? We're almost an hour. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fill up an hour. But yeah, sometimes I go into these going, oh, I don't know if I feel that talkative. And I just get going with y'all. And I really love this, y'all. I really, really do. So yes, if you are new, thank you so much for, popping in here today. I hope you subscribe because I think you'll really like it. It's up to you, no pressure. It is free, in case you didn't know. I know when I first started watching YouTube, I didn't know that. People would ask us, for me to subscribe to stuff, and I'd be like, well, does that mean I'm signing up for something and it's going to cost me something? And I didn't really know that. So that's why I always tell you guys, in case you don't know, that it is free. So yeah, join us. Like I said, I try to do whip and chats and a bunch of fun dime painting stuff. And I got the lives and I've got some unboxings that are going to be coming up. So yeah, stick around. And if you are returning, thank you again, y'all, for your continued support. I really do love you guys and appreciate your, like I said, your friendship. So yes, you make this community very, very special. And what else? Oh, events. There are a lot of events going on or coming up. So a couple things. My friend, and I forgot to take notes. I don't really have a lot of good details, but I'll at least mention what I do know to get the word out there. My friend Lindsay, Life with Lindsay, she has a channel. I'll link it down below. She is hosting a retreat in Pennsylvania in May. I don't know. Wait, is it May? Yeah, don't. Yeah, I'm not sure all the information, but I do know. I listened to her whip and chat yesterday when I was in the car working, and it sounds like they still have some spots available. So if you're interested in it's a dime painting retreat and you want to go to that area or you live in that area, go check her out. So yeah, just click on her channel and there's information in there. Plus her Instagram. I know she's got her Facebook group. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys and put the word out. So Life with Lindsay, yeah, go check her out. She's hosting a retreat. Her and another woman are, I don't know her, I think it's Kevin's wife. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in a retreat, go check them out. And then events. Let me know, y'all, if you're working on any events right now, participating in any. I'm not. I'm just chilling with this one, trying to finish it. But there's a lot of good events out there. I've got some friends that are doing some that are coming up. So I'll have those linked down below. But I'm one of the mods for, we have a Facebook group for, actually, that's for retreats, which I'm a mod in, but there's also one for events. So I'll try to put some of that information in there, okay? And there's people that go live. I have a live schedule. I just want to give you all the info if you are new or if you've been around and you just maybe have missed something. So I'll try to put as much as I can down there so y'all, can join in on things because this community is really great. And there's some amazing people here that are hosting events, retreats, and I just want to give them, all that love they deserve. So, all right, I just don't have details. I ain't got the details, y'all, but yeah, I got love. That's all I got. So we finished a square. Look at this, right on time. Oh, my finger just went over something. I love to rub my hands over my painting. It feels so good. Yes, there's going to be a lot of ABs coming up. Let me scoot it down just a little bit more for y'all if you want to look up for a sec. All this is ABs, all this white, all this, all this. So yeah, it's going to be this 3756. Really super sparkly. So yes, sometimes, putting ABs down can be a little tricky. It gets a little sticky with the wax and all that, but it turns out so great and it looks so good. So yeah, so I've got, let me see how many squares left. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 row. So yeah, we're getting there. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. So of course, do all the YouTube things, subscribe. If you haven't already, it's free. Like I said, ring the bell. There's a notification bell. And that way you'll get notified whenever I post up any new videos. And then make sure you give me a thumbs up. They really do help. Little thumbs up down there. And share the video. If you think there's anybody else that, would enjoy some dime painting content or just a friend, just share my content. I would appreciate it. All right, y'all. Love you so much. Take care. And I hope to see you on Sunday. And if not, be part of the replay gang. Love that too. And just leave me a comment. Okay. All right. Love you guys so much. Take care.